Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Facundo Unia and I hope you're doing fine. Today I'm going to talk about How to Train Your Dragon. The remake is super good, just as good as the original one from 2010. Every time my family and I see How to Train Your Dragon, the original one, we cry, we laugh. One of my favorite movies, and the remake is out right now. And the movie is so good. I really love it. You know what? This summer, Chris Sanders has two movies on the top. I hope How to Train Your Dragon is going to be on the top because Chris Sanders is behind both How to Train Your Dragon and Lilo and Stitch. So he's competing against himself, and both movies are so good they deserve to reach $1 billion, both of them. So I recommend watching both of them, maybe a marathon, one after the other one. Let's get Mason Thames, that plays Hiccup, is very good in this movie, and he was great in the Black Phone. It's a very scary movie from Universal, and the second one is gonna come soon, Black Phone 2, and that one is very Freddy Krueger acting movie. It's gonna be very Freddy Krueger. You know, Nightmare from Elm Street, and this trailer looks amazing. And Nico Parker as Astrid, she's great. I really liked her in the role because she's cool and she's very heroic. I really like her in the role. Both very good in this movie.
We're all descendants of the finest dragon fighters from everywhere the Vikings ever traveled.
One of the biggest differences in this movie is that there are people from all around the world represented in the movie. The thing is, the dragon problem is international. There are people from all around the world in Berk. And why? Because they know there's a dragon nest very close to the island of Berk. So all the greatest fighters from all around the world are represented in this island. I think this is a very cool thing because it becomes more diverse. Look, this is Toothless. Whee! I love Toothless. It's one of my favorite characters. He's so cute. And the books are really good too. So the new movie just came out and it's very good and I love it. You know what? It's basically shot by shot from the original movie. But that doesn't matter because the original movie is so great, so this one is great too. Let's begin. Now I'm gonna make a breakdown of the movie, and the movie How to Train Your Dragon starts with Hiccup talking about the island of Berk, where he lives. That it's always like very cold, or if not cold, it's raining, or if it's not raining, it's winter. And how the people there are very stubborn, but have a problem, and the problem are all the pests that comes and destroys the island. Hiccup says most of the people would have given up for a long time ago, but no, we are Vikings, so we are gonna fight against the dragons. In the beginning of the movie, Hiccup wants to be accepted by the rest of the Vikings, so he's like, oh, and he's trying to fight. But Hiccup is actually an engineer, so he goes to Gobber, who is the blacksmith, and Hiccup is Gobber's apprentice. Hiccup is a very awkward kid, and the thing is, Gobber actually points at him and says, no more of this, you should be less of this, or something similar. And then Hiccup says, but you were pointing for all of me, and that is not very heartful. And Hiccup gets very sad because he's actually pointing at all of Hiccup. So Gobber says that he shouldn't be himself, but I think that you should always be yourself, no matter what. As long as you don't hurt anybody else or do something bad. But as long as you are you, and you should be yourself. Then we see the other teens, and one of them is Astrid. Astrid is the girl that Hiccup really has a crush on. And he's completely in love with Astrid. And she says that one day she wants to become chief of Berk. But Hiccup actually answers, yes, I think that my father rather have you as a kid than me. Hiccup knows that his father ain't proud of him at all. And that's really sad. Hiccup feels very sad, but being an engineer, he made a very cool weapon. Things like by killing a dragon, everybody on Berk is gonna like him more. So he sets up his weapon, and his weapon is actually a very cool catapult that swings away ropes like a bola from Argentina, like bolas, and he hits the Night Fury, and the Night Fury falls down, and Hiccup sees where the Night Fury falls down. The thing is, Hiccup is very happy because, yay, I shot down the Night Fury, now everybody's gonna like me. But nobody believes Hiccup, and his father comes, and his father, who's actually the Chief Stoick, Stoick doesn't believe in Hiccup either. And that's actually also very hurtful because his father, just like Gobber, the blacksmith, doesn't believe so much in Hiccup. Okay, Gobber believes in Hiccup as a engineer, but he doesn't believe as him as a Viking, because Gobber knows that Hiccup is very, very smart. But his father, he doesn't even think that. He couldn't think less of him. Hiccup's father, he wants to reach the island where all the dragons lives to take them out. But the thing is, the other Vikings like, I don't think we should go. It could be very dangerous. In the original movie, Stoick says that whoever stays behind has actually to take care of Hiccup. But that doesn't happen in this movie. Instead, Stoick makes a very great speech, and he says that everybody who's there in Berk comes from all around the world because the dragon problem is international. So all the biggest fighters and all the greatest fighters around the world are in Berk because they know that the greatest and biggest dragon nest is close to Berk. That's the reason why there are people from all over the world. Hiccup goes out and tries to search for the Night Fury that fell down, and he finds the Night Fury, and the Night Fury is all tied up because his bowler machine actually worked. And then Hiccup's like, oh, now I'm gonna kill you. But he stops himself because Hiccup is no killer. He's like, no, I can't kill this creature, because when he sees the Night Fury's eyes, he can see himself in the Night Fury. Both of them are very sad and very confused, so he can't kill him. So instead, Hiccup, he cuts up all the ropes and saves the Night Fury. Even if he wants to impress his father by giving him the dragon's heart, he can't do it because he knows that this dragon and him are very similar. And I love this moment so much because this is when they first bond with each other. When the Night Fury is loose, it doesn't attack Hiccup. You just look at him with his very big eyes. And the Night Fury tries to fly away, but it can't because one of the tails is broken. So it can't fly away because without this part of the tail, it can't fly. When Hiccup later gets home, he wants to tell his father that he can't kill dragons. But the thing is, his father stops him because he doesn't listen, and instead wants him to train in Gobber's the blacksmith school of killing dragons. Hiccup feels like he has to because he feels like everybody expects him to do it. Next day in dragon school, he knows how to pet dragons and how to cuddle with them and how to tickle them. So he actually wins again. But the thing is, now everybody wants to be with Hiccup. Everyone's like, oh Hiccup, you're so cool, you're so cool. But Astrid, she's like, how come that this guy who was very bad before suddenly becomes so great? And she's very suspicious of Hiccup, and she wants to know what's going on. Do 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 do. I love this movie. Then Hiccup starts drawing Toothless in the sand, and Toothless is like, what's that? And he looks very curious, like, what's going on? What's going on? And then he takes a big wrench and starts drawing himself. Oh, this movie is so cute. I really love this movie. And now I'm not gonna break down the movie anymore. Go and watch it at the cinema. The movie is great. And you know what? You can see the animated movies on Netflix and other streaming services. Or you can actually buy them. I recommend buying them because these movies are very, very good. I love them so much because it's about believing in yourself even if nobody else does. It's about staying true to who you are even when the world keeps telling you to stop being yourself. There's nothing wrong with being different, just keep being you. Okay, thank you for watching, and Have you seen the movies? Do you like them? Do you love them? Or maybe you don't like them. So tell me down in the comments. And why not drop a like? That's gonna help me a lot. And you know what? Something else that's gonna help me a lot is why not subscribe? Because if you subscribe, we can hang with each other even more. Okay, bye bye hugs, bye bye hugs. Subscribe so we can hang with each other even more. Bye bye hugs, bye bye hugs. Pom pom pom, pachom pachom pachom, quédate, pom pom.